CM Punk is injured and will miss WrestleMania 40. Big time news just coming in. PW Insider has said that CM Punk has torn his tricep, will require surgery, and will likely miss the Showcase of the Immortals, a main event match, no more. We have so much to talk about. I'm going to tell you more about what we know, exactly what this means for WWE moving forward, and the title picture going into WrestleMania. So much to talk about. Before I dive in, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so CM Punk, the savior of the masses, the cult of personality, whatever you want to call him, it is very unfortunate that it looks like in the Royal Rumble, CM Punk suffered a tricep injury, a torn left tricep, and he waved off the doctor apparently in the match, so there wasn't medical attention right then and there. However, reports have come out first from Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp that there was an injury suffered during the match, and now PW Insider has said that it was in fact a torn tricep. He was favoring his left tricep, so that seems to be the case here, and he will likely require surgery, which will have him miss WrestleMania 40. Just to give people a bit more information, Punk tore his right tricep at AEW All Out 2022. You all remember that. That was the event where he won the world title back in Chicago and ended that night with the Brawl Out media scrum press conference fight, whatever you want to call that situation. So it's not the same injury. It is in the other arm, it looks like, but this is just absolutely terrible on multiple fronts. No matter what you think about CM Punk, no matter what you think about his contributions or lack thereof to professional wrestling, one thing that's for sure is WrestleMania without CM Punk is not going to be as strong of a show as it would be with CM Punk. Not only because we are now going to miss out on the return of Punk to Mania on the grandest stage in front of tens of thousands of people, but on top of that, Punk was slated, likely, a lot of people thought he was going to be slated to be Rollins' opponent at Mania. And he was going to get that main event match. And now it does not look like that's going to be the case. If he has to miss Mania, which it looks like he is, it's absolutely horrible, because we're going to not only going to miss out on like the moment of him having that main event, and it's going to be big. Whether or not you like Punk, it's going to draw eyeballs, but you're not going to get that match. You're not going to get a match that many people wanted to see. You're not going to get a match between Seth Rollins and Punk, who have real life heat that people were interested in. It just would have been cool to see. And, where you go from here, it's hard to say, because Rollins, of course, he's also suffering an injury. And it's almost like this WWE World Championship picture is cursed in a way, because Rollins suffered an injury, now Punk, and now you think to yourself, who are you going to get to replace Punk in this spot? Do you use that to maybe bring back a Brock Lesnar, even though I don't think that that's the move right now, given the horrible implications that were levied his way and the allegations levied his way in that lawsuit? Or do you go, the route of maybe having Damian Priest cash in and him winning the belt and maybe doing him versus Rollins at Mania? Or do you bring in Drew McIntyre, a match that people have already seen, and given Drew's contract situation with WWE, we don't know whether or not they would be willing to give him the belt. Some people say that his contract may be up around WrestleMania time, so there's a bit of a complex situation there if that is the case. So what do you do? What the hell do you do? Cody's got his thing. He's going to be wrestling for the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns. Where does that leave Rollins? Where does that leave the world title picture? We don't know. And it's, again, like I said, unfortunate on many levels. The only thing that you can maybe even point to as a positive is it's going to force WWE's hand to try to do something interesting. And the question is, how do you make sure it's interesting? Because I can imagine that they have been building this up, and they've been building this out since the day Punk walked back into the company. You know damn well Triple H just said, this guy, I'm going to lean on him as a pillar for WrestleMania 40. Because that is going to draw eyeballs, that is going to sell tickets, that is going to create WrestleMania moments, and it does not seem like that is going to happen now. So if you're Triple H, it's a big test for your booking. What do you do in these situations? And it doesn't look like, as far as free agents, it doesn't look like you're getting Okada. You're not getting Ospreay. He's already signed to AEW. You're not getting Mercedes. Reports are that she signed and it just awaiting the ending of her acting duties to debut in AEW. So we can't really bring many people in from the outside. You're in a bit of a pickle. So this is really going to require Triple H to build up a new star. This is going to require him to build up something interesting. And I think there is an interesting story to tell with Drew. The only issue is you kind of already told it a bit with Rollins, like just recently on TV. So you can't really go back to that. The Judgment Day angle might be something that's a little bit more interesting. But, are people ready to accept Damian Priest as a potential world champion? I think I am, but I'm not sure where the rest of the WWE universe is in that sense. Again, unfortunate news. And again, I've said a lot of critical things. I've been critical of Punk. I'll be honest with you. I have been very critical of Punk. But I want to be clear. CM Punk, while I've been critical of him, and I think a lot of his situations are situations that he kind of instigated in, he is still one of my favorite wrestlers. And I don't get back into wrestling in 2011 if it wasn't for CM Punk. So for me, like, this is devastating. I wanted to see him at Mania. I wanted to see him have a big match. I wanted to see CM Punk get his moment because I'm still a fan. And the fact that it's not happening, the fact that he's going to miss it, and the fact that he's injured again, it doesn't bode well for him, honestly, I don't think. Because look at this now. In the past 3 years, or 2 years actually, Punk has gone down with a broken foot when he first won the world title. He went out with a torn tricep after All Out, and now he's injured his left tricep and is likely going to be out for multiple months again. And, now the question is, when you bring him back, do you have him wrestle a full-time schedule? I don't think so. I don't think you have Punk wrestle a full-time schedule at all in WWE. I think you have him do critical matches like the Royal Rumble, big shows. Not even have him do the MSG house shows. Don't have him do any of that. Just have him wrestle big shows. Mania, SummerSlam. They're probably going to have him wrestle at Saudi, but whatever. But that's what I would do just to minimize the risk of injury, because you can't risk him getting injured anymore than he already is. So we'll see what happens. Guys, let me know your reaction to this unfortunate news in the comment section below. What do you think about CM Punk getting injured? Who would you like to see face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World's Heavyweight Championship? Let me know in the comment section, and also be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.